All right, so now I'm going to show you how that I pick a trailer for my casting or flipping jigs. I've really just got 3 different designs that I use on a regular basis, and they kind of break into 2 little segments. One is the flap and craw style of a trailer that I use. It's actually just a regular soft plastic that I trim down to fit the jig. But the flap and craw adds a lot of action. It has a really good active profile. For active fish. If it's warmer water, post-spawn or even during the spawn, something that the fish want something that's moving around a lot, that's when I'll use the flap and craw style. But on the other hand, if the fish are a little bit more inactive, or I'm fishing around bass that are feeding on primarily bluegill, I'm going to go ahead and go to either a do-nothing chunk, which doesn't have too many appendages. It just has these 2 legs, these 2 claws that really don't move much, or the beaver style bait, that same concept, really doesn't move a whole lot. It just essentially adds kind of a subtle glide to the jig. It doesn't fall straight down, it kind of glides to the side, and that's really good for inactive fish or fish that are eating bluegill. So what I'm going to do to rig each of these is these are pretty much the same. The flap and craws and the beaver style, as far as rigging it, you have to trim it to fit the jig. You don't want to just put it on just straight, because you need a more compact profile. I'm essentially just going to go ahead and cut maybe a 1/2 inch. You just kind of eyeball it, and that's almost down to personal preference. And then you're essentially just going to thread that onto the hook. And the key is finding the perfect spot to take the hook point through and then thread it on there so it's as perfectly straight as possible. And essentially you're just going to have that profile right there. It's nice and short, compact. It's not hanging out all the way down here like it would without trimming it. So that's perfect right there. And you're going to want to do the same thing with the beaver style bait, because it's a little bit too long, a little bit too bulky. So now with these right here, the chunks, these are designed for jigs specifically. So there's 2 ways that you can rig them. You essentially just either hook it right through the back, right through the middle there, or you can thread it on, which is what I prefer. If you hook it right through the middle and just kind of let it swing, you're kind of missing the body of the bait right there. It just doesn't look as real to me. I don't have as much confidence in it, but that's how I started out, and I caught a lot of fish with it, so it'll work. But essentially I do the same thing that I do with the beaver style bait and the flap and craw, is I thread it on there and just go ahead, make it snug. Really perfect profile. Those things are designed for jigs, so it looks really good in the water and has a really seductive glide.